Hey everyone, how's it going? Alright, so yesterday's video was a bit weird, wasn't it? Come on, I made a face that I may have looked a bit like I had about 40 children locked in my basement, but I assure you I don't. But yeah, anyway. My last video was pretty weird. You can expect at least one a month, or at most one a month from those. I'm gonna try and make the Q&A videos a bit more regular, and by a bit more regular I mean a lot more regular. But that's not the point of today. The point of today is reviewing comic books. You can tell that I've really prepared for this, can't you? But yeah, I showed you the haul last, Thursday. I showed you the haul on Thursday. Today's Saturday, so it's a day later than I usually do it. But hey, here we go. A little too high, a little too low. Low self-esteem and vertigo. She thinks she's made of candy. Right. Yeah. Let's get into the first book, shall we? Captain America, issue 704, written by Mark Waid, and art by Leonardo Romero, colours by Jordi Belair. Colours are the best thing about this book, because they're by Jordi Belair. This whole arc has been pretty bad. I think every issue has been on the bottom of all of my pull lists. Has been at the bottom of all my weeks. Has been at the bottom of all of my weeks. But this one was probably not the worst of the arc. That was probably the first issue, but this one definitely was very lacking, especially because this issue has no Captain America in it. I honestly thought that his son, Jack Rogers' son, was going to be more of a more pivotal character. It was actually going to be revealed at the end of the storyline that that's actually Captain America, especially since he's called Steve Rogers. But no, they've got to make this historian character so such a great character, which he's really not. But they need to make him they need to show him as being a likable character by making him the most unlikable. Hey. So we open up with a terrible drawing of the Red Skull. And going forward, we get more of the Red Skull being drawn as some old bush-eyebrowed, twat. Yeah, we get shown that he has the power cosmic and he's fighting the Skrulls. Not the Skrulls, the Kree. And meanwhile, Jack Rogers is interrogating this Kree that's planning a world invasion. And this is our superhero. This is our protagonist of the storyline. He has captured and he is torturing and killing this Kree that's just doing what it's being told, or just doing what it is in its nature to do. There isn't even a fight. This thing doesn't even put up a fight. But the whole, at the end of the story, we get told that that the real big antagonist, the real big villain, is again Red Skull. And at the end of the story, we basically have Jack Rogers fakes out Red Skull saying, "I will be your slave for now and forever." That's how you beat a Rogers. That's how you beat Steve Rogers or a descendant of Steve Rogers by enslaving them. And then he fakes him out. He takes the power of the Cosmic Cube, and the Red Skull becomes He-Man at the end of this, by basically saying, "No, I am the Majesty. I am the power." Like, seriously, just stop, Mark Waid. Like, seriously, just stop, because like the last page, whilst everything's like laying in waste, he's like, "And we are the descendants of Captain America after all. We've got a reputation to uphold." No, this city's been fucking destroyed. Don't just hold up a flag and say, "This is America." Hold up a flag and say, "We will rebuild this city." Right? It would have been good if this would have been placed higher if Mark Waid was smart and actually said at the end of the book, instead of having like Jack Rogers say, "Oh, I'm a descendant of Captain America, that makes me the best character in the world, that means I can do nothing wrong," they need to actually have him accept that the whole reason why everything's been destroyed is his fault. And that's the real problem. It's not the fact that there's any overarching villain. There isn't. Like, you can say that the Kree's the villain, you could say the Red Skull's the villain, but no, there is a page which literally says, where Jack Rogers literally says, "I am the villain. I am the villain now and forever." Which is true. They use it as a fake out, but it's actually true. He really is the villain, because he created this whole mess. He's the one that set free the Red Skull. He's the one that started the global war with the Kree. If he wouldn't have done this, he would have been fine. He probably would have lived out his life and died before. Like, it was all to save one person. Yeah, you saved that one person, but that's not what Captain America would do. Like, it's alright saying, "Oh, he's got Rogers as his surname, that therefore it's Captain America, belongs in the Captain America book." He doesn't. Because he doesn't have... Because the character that they've self-inserted here, that Mark Waid has literally just self-inserted into the book, has basically said, "I'm a Rogers, which means I'm good." But no. No. It's just not. It's just crap, and it's painful to read. And I cannot wait for Ta-Nehisi Coates to take over and hopefully save the book. Because I can't believe I'm saying this, but I honestly think that Ta-Nehisi Coates can write a better Captain America than an American. Than Mark Waid. And Mark Waid, come on, you used to be so good. You wrote, you can be good. You showed that you can be good with a book that I'm going to talk about later on. But this was just so bland, and it's boring, and it's just infuriating. And that's the worst kind of comic book, when it actually infuriates you. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man issue 801, and I'm 9 minutes in, and that's how bad Captain America, Captain America issue 704 was. But this is issue 801 of Amazing Spider-Man. And this just felt lazy. felt like a lazy end to a mismatched run. And it's such a shame, because issue 800 was so good. But this issue really didn't need to be written. Because we have like a short overgoing of Peter Parker's history. Not Peter Parker's history, Spider-Man's origin. And then we have this like telling of the life of this guy who I don't even think gets named, Kenneth. He doesn't have a surname, but this guy called Kenneth, who his dad is dying, and he gets caught in a store robbery, and Spider-Man comes in to save him. And this part is all well and good, and then it goes into showing the life of this guy, this Kenneth guy, after Spider-Man saves him. And then we get to the current day, because Spider-Man got saved. Spider-Man saved this guy back like 3 weeks into his career, and now it's the present day, and he's fighting some of what looks like Mr. Negative's lackeys, and he meets up with this Kenneth guy, and he says, well, you saved my life, might as well return the favour by tripping up this guy. And then he basically says, Spider-Man says to his daughter, who is pouting, saying, oh, why did we have to meet Spider-Man? We could have met Captain Marvel, or Thor, or Black Panther. Because when they saved the world, because when they saved the day, they saved the world. And then it's like, no, you met Spider-Man. You met Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man saves the world all the time, and no one realised. Spider-Man was a member of the Fantastic Four, you idiot. Bloody hell. And Dan Slott was writing when he was a member of the Fantastic Four. So yeah. But yeah, Spider-Man, he basically goes on to say it's not about saving the world, it's about saving individual worlds. And people. Instead of... Doesn't need to save the world, he just needs to save one person. And that's basically... And that's the end of the story. And it just felt kind of like a sour note to end on. Like, you have such a good final issue with issue 800, and then you just squeeze one more out, and the art is kind of bad. I don't like the art in this. I'm sorry, but the art is terrible. I don't like it. And it's really a story that didn't really need to be told. Next issue is Daredevil, issue 604. And this issue has the same problems as the rest of the story arc has thus far. Too much talking heads, not enough action. Now this does ramp up on the action, because we have Matt Murdock's priest who just showed up, and he expels the demon from Matthew Murdock, but also the demon inside of Matthew Murdock. Also, this priest is a part of like this ancient order of like ninja Catholics who are specifically trained to deal with abnormal supernatural threats, which seemed a bit out of the blue. And they're called the Order of the Dragon, and they've been around since medieval times. And this is what I mean, that it's all just talking heads up until this point, and then halfway through the book, Daredevil jumps into action, and we think, oh, gonna have half talking heads and half action. I like this. And then, but that only carries over for a few pages. And then we go back to, and we have this quick action scene, and then we go back to Foggy Nelson, and Wilson Fisk is awake. And yeah, I wanna see more. I wanna see more action in Daredevil, because it does seem like there's a lot more talking about what's going to happen instead of showing what's happening. And the setup and the premise of the storyline, you have this ancient group of ninjas from medieval times fighting another group of ninjas from medieval times, and Daredevil in the middle of it all. That should be an epic storyline. But why is it being handled like it's some political thriller? Like, it's really just shoddy, and it needs to like bump it up a bit. Have some stakes, have some action. Next up is Doctor Strange issue 2. And this would have been really good if they didn't just gloss over a important story plot point in the middle of the book. So the issue actually fakes you out. It makes you think that this is going to be more of the same depressing stuff as in the first issue, which I didn't have a problem with it being a bit depressing. I thought, oh yeah, but come on, second issue. This is Doctor Strange. Make it fun. Make it like the movie. Like, the way I've been reading Marvel Comics as of recently, since after the movies have come out, I've been reading the characters as the actors. So I've been reading Doctor Strange as Benedict Cumberbatch. And reading this as Benedict Cumberbatch does seem really off until we get the introduction of this new character who's unnamed until they escape from the prison, and we find out that these the captors of Doctor Strange are looking to set sights on Earth. They're going to take it over, and they manage to escape, but not after finding this artifact that will possibly be able to give Doctor Strange his magic back, and it does. So it seems kind of easy how they beat this enemy, but Doctor Strange just forms a cloud around it that they can't get past. Which, you know, if you want to get rid of someone, you can do it. And that's the kind of thing that I thought they glossed over. The point that they make, that this group has been doing like tests on Doctor Strange to find out where he came from. I feel like this storyline could have used an extra issue to flesh that plot point out a bit more. But apart from that, this is really good. And Jesus Sayers, his artwork continues to be just groundbreaking. And it looks really good. It looks pretty. And Mark Waid is definitely writing Doctor Strange much better than he's been writing Captain America. And I hope that this book keeps the quality that it's going for, and I hope that it does more expansion on these storylines, because really, when you have like opening plot points like the main villain have been doing like scientific tests on the hero, you really want to like flesh that out a bit more. And just missing off of my top spot this week was Punisher, issue 226. I think we only have 2 more issues of this until we go back to number 1, and Punisher gets rid of Rhodey's armor. But in this issue, we have Punisher. He's invaded the CIA, and he is working on finding Baron Zemo to get revenge on him after the events of Secret Empire, because for some reason the Punisher is the only person who has consequences from after that event. So it's literally the Punisher, the actual one-man war machine, versus the entirety of Hydra. So we have Crossbones, Taskmaster, Baron Zemo, Ghost even makes an appearance in this, and it looks as if they are going to kill Frank Castle until the cavalry arrives. It's all your favourite superheroes. It's Bucky, Winter Soldier. It's Hawkeye. It's Black Widow, and it's everyone's favourite Mockingbird. Yeah. And they basically save Punisher, but Hawkeye kind of says, look, we came here to bring you in. Saving you was just a pretty bonus. Let us bring you in. Surrender the armor, or give us back the armor and we'll let you leave. And then Black Widow just turns coat and zaps Hawkeye and Mockingbird, and it's only Winter Soldier and Black Widow and Punisher left. And Black Widow is like, get the armor, we've got people to kill. And this Punisher run by Matthew Rosenberg has been just it's just amazing. It just is. The first arc was alright. This arc, where it's pretty much World War Frank Castle, is so good. Like, seriously. Like, I didn't read Secret Empire, but this storyline has made me interested. Like, in not to the point that I want to go back and read it, because I've heard that it was not very good. But this is an interesting storyline, and I really do like it. And I also like the fact that the Punisher logo up the top is like all bloody and crumpled. It's kind of saying that Punisher doesn't leave this issue, or like Punisher doesn't make it through this issue quite. Like, Punisher doesn't make it through this issue without getting a few cuts and scrapes. That's basically what it's saying. And my pick of the week, the new number 1 of the week, Tony Stark Iron Man. This is the best Iron Man comic I've read in a while. seriously, this is so much better than anything else. I like that the cover and back cover are a different material to the inside pages, to the paper on the inside, because it makes you feel like they put a little bit more care and quality into it. The artwork by Valerio Schiti. Am I allowed to say that? Don't demonetize. But yeah, the artwork by Valerio Schiti is very, very nice. So, as you can see, I don't even need to pull up an action sequence to show you that the artwork looks great. Not even the art looks good. But it's basically a introduction issue to the new status quo of Tony Stark. So we have a flashback introducing this character called Andy Bang, or Andy Bahang, or Bahung, or however you pronounce his surname. And he is a new employee at Stark Unlimited. Stark Unlimited. He's renamed it Stark Unlimited. And he's got several high-name people working for him, including Bethany Cabe and Jocasta. And it's whilst he's being shown around that a big event happens. City gets attacked by Fin Fang Foom. So this is where a whole load of pieces of a new armor just start flying out, and it's the Fin Fang Foom Buster. I am under the impression that this is a new armor, and it is. It is, because this is the first time it's been referenced, and it's literally just a massive Gundam, and it gets destroyed pretty quickly. So he just leaves it. He just leaves this armor and injects Fin Fang Foom with nanobots, and Fin Fang Foom is defeated. Without all that, and they find out that Fin Fang Foom has been being controlled by a control disk coming from a villain called the Controller. So there is a lot of controlling going on. And it looks as if Tony Stark has sustained quite a few cuts and scrapes. And at a press deal, he basically says, no, Iron Man is not the suit, it is the idea behind the suit. And then we get a after credit sequence showing the Controller, and it's showing who, throughout the issue, we get bits and pieces that information is being leaked from Stark Unlimited, and we get revealed that it's Bethany Cabe who has been leaking all this information. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. I like that it's going the anime route, just bringing out a giant Gundam for Iron Man to fight this guy with. And I don't think Iron Man has a set armor that he's going to use for this, because that's probably why it's called Tony Stark Iron Man, and they have all these different armors in the cover, because it's not a new armor that he's using, it's all of the armors that he's using. So that's a really cool idea, and I like that it's digging out the more obscure Iron Man villains like the Controller. I like that. So those are all of the books that I had to review this week, and half an hour, that's actually pretty good for me. But those are all of the books that I've had to review this week. Let me know in the comments below what books you picked up this week, what you enjoyed from this week. of course, because I've only read some Marvel books this week. Let me know if there are any new #1s from DC coming out. Because I heard that there's a new Shazam book coming out in the not so far future, written by Jeff Johns. So I might pick that up as well. But you know, Hawkman, that first issue was so good. I just need to pick up the second one. But that being said, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more of my ugly mug in your comments, in your subscription feed, and everywhere else that you get notified. Probably Facebook. You're probably going to get notified by Facebook. Let's be honest, because you know, YouTube's been screwing over all of the smaller creators, and I'm most definitely a smaller creator. But until then, until I next see ya, to all I want. Peace. If I can find the